It is Friday, March 18th, 2022. This is Baseball Today. That is my man T. Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. You are sipping your half-calf decaf mocha latte with a twist. Is this cup number 3 of the morning or what?
It's just black coffee, bro. I think this is number 2.
Oh,
I'll only go to number 2. But I need to pick me up this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'll pick you up with a little baseball.
Please do.
Of course, the biggest signing in the baseball world was what you announced yesterday as you re-upped with John Boy Media. The second biggest signing in the Los Angeles area was Freddie Freeman this week. 6 years, 162 mil. Did you see him show up to the Dodgers spring training facility head to toe in a Men in Black suit, but holding a baseball glove?
Bro, let me stop you right there. Men in Black suit, no chance. This guy was looking excellent. I mean, absolutely dapper. I want to talk about the accessories. The suit was nice. It fit him perfect. Obviously, that he's going to have a tailor to do that for him. But right there, boom, you see the red bottoms.
Yeah.
He's got the Louboutins on because he just got paid. My favorite accessory, though, is he doesn't have a briefcase. He's showing up to work. You know what he's got? A freaking gold glove. That is so show. Freddie Freeman, let me tell you something, bro. You know you're in Hollywood now, and you showed up and you did the damn thing. I love it. I love everything about that.
He's going to fit in great. He's got such a good personality. He's such a good ambassador for the sport, and I guess he'll fit kind of in the middle of that lineup as well. Good luck, Dave Roberts, filling out that lineup card every day.
I mean, bro,
for you.
we were talking to Dave. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Fun.
You know what's funny about him is he understands the talent that he has around him. And he's even said to us, he's like, I just kind of let them do their thing.
Yeah. He's smart. By the way, so it was funny. It was the two of us, BBD, Jimmy, Jake, and Joe's. And so I introduced, Dave to everybody. And I finished up, and that's Joe's McFly. He goes, Joe's McFly. He's like, that's a great name. I got to come up with a nickname. So,
well, unfortunately for Joe's McFly, his new nickname is Trader Joe's. So
that's hilarious. Greatest t-shirt ever. Go buy it today at what is it? Shop.johnboymedia. Is that what it is? .com.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's get on to our list today. Speaking of shopping, teams are still in the free agent market, going over the shelves and saying, I'd like one of those, one of those, one of those. Jason Stark reported today that the Phillies are very close on bringing in free agent outfielder Nick Castellanos. Is that a perfect landing spot? Because we're also hearing several other teams, maybe the Marlins or the Padres, are still kicking the tires there.
I mean, I'm in on this move 100%. I love Castellanos as a ball player. I mean, I saw this kid come up third baseman for the vaunted Detroit lineup back in like 2012 or 13. He's turned into just an absolute juggernaut at the plate. So he fits the Phillies lineup in that regard, where he's going to bolster their offense even more. They brought in Schwarber as well. I'm not going to say it's the perfect fit, just because defensively, when you got all those guys in the lineup, it's not going to be too good, especially if you're going to like DH Harper one day. You're going to have Schwarber and Castellanos in the corners there. So I don't love that, but dude, they need to do something. They need to get some more offense there. Because I think that they're still going to give up some runs. I've talked about the top part of their pitching staff as being really solid with Nola and Wheeler, but overall, I think they're going to give up some runs. And maybe now they're just like saying, we'll just drive in more than we let in. What do you think?
Well, I do. When we did our free agency draft many, many moons ago, I had Castellanos inking a deal with the Phillies. And I really believe from day one, that's exactly where he should land. With how everything has transpired over the last several months, meaning pre-lockout and post-lockout, I think San Diego's a better fit for him. I really do. They've got a true center fielder in Trent Grisham that can really chase it down out there. They're not happy with their outfield situation. Myers has been bandied about in trade talk forever, and I don't think they love having Jerks and Profar out there as their starting left fielder if that's the way they have to go. So I actually think that San Diego is a better fit for him. But I think Philly's fine. And the Marlins, listen, they need bats. They need bats. I'm sick of them waiting for these young guys to get here and grow up. And you can sprinkle those young guys in, because the one thing Derek Jeter did do before he left was revamp that farm system. But they need proven major leaguers in that lineup. It can't be 2 or 3 guys. They need to stretch the depth of that lineup.
Are they spending or what, dude? Because we heard Jeter was out because they weren't going after Castellanos specifically, right? That's what CC said.
That was the report out there. Yes.
Okay. So they're not going after Castellanos, so he's out. I mean,
Well, could you imagine if Derek Jeter leaves and then they bring in Castellanos? Then you really have to wonder what went wrong there.
yeah, I said that if they start spending money after the deadline, then we'll figure something out, but they haven't. And I don't
Right.
think they're going to. I mean, it seems like Jeets kind of saw the writing on the wall and was like, bro, I'm going to go live my life.
So we both agree that we think he's going to end up in Philly.
I don't know.
Well,
I hope so. I hope so. I think because I like the Phillies team and they have this window. It's a short window. I think it's like a 2 or 3 year window. Like Harper's going to be there, but everybody else like is not.
I would say yes, and I think his attitude plays perfectly in Philly. I think it's going to be awesome.
You can go 5 deep right there, like Jake Storiale, 5 deep. You got Schwarber, Harper, Real Muto, Hoskins, and Castellanos. That's pretty nice.
Pretty good. Not bad. Rest of it we can talk about at a later time. Carlos Correa remains the top free agent on the board. Now that things have kind of shaken out a little bit, is there anywhere else he seems to fit other than Houston?
I have a really great place for him to go. The Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine if they did that?
You had me a little bit. You had me on the edge of my seat.
No, honestly, I think he has to go back to Houston. I think they played their hand perfectly because they still have Story out there and they still have Correa out there. And they're sitting pretty as is already without either of these guys in their lineup. Obviously, either one of these guys turns that 10 lineup into an 11. So I think Houston is the best fit for him. I hope he goes back there. There's been a lot of rumors. Apparently, a lot of guys in the clubhouse are like saying like they have a really good vibe that Carlos is coming back. And if he does come back, Chris, I mean, it's going to be hard to pick against this team in the American League. I don't care what the Blue Jays did. I don't care what the Rays are going to do or any other the White Sox. The Houston Astros have done it, bro. 5 years in a row in the ALCS. They're the team to beat until proven otherwise.
It seems like the perfect landing spot based on how this game of shortstop musical chairs has gone as of late. But I will throw one other team out there. And it was one that was rumored pre-lockout, but I haven't heard much since. The Detroit Tigers. I still think it fits. And everybody said, well, hold on. You just signed Javi Baez to a long-term deal. We can move Baez over to second. I think he will gladly move himself over to second to accommodate the arrival of Carlos Correa. I like what they've done here in the offseason. I really do. I think trading for Tucker Barnhart, a really solid catcher that can lead a young pitching staff. Erod, he's not the most consistent guy to have at the top of a rotation, but he will give you solid innings. They just signed Andrew Chafin, a really underrated guy out of the bullpen. So they are making moves because they know that outside of the White Sox, there's not a solid number 2 in that division. There just isn't. And if you can stack up wins against teams like Minnesota, Cleveland, and Kansas City, whom you're going to face a total of 57 times, then, hey, maybe you can squeeze into the playoffs. And then you never know.
I like it. I mean, they've already offered him a contract at one point during the offseason, I believe, before the lockout. That's my understanding. And it was too low. But time's been changing. Yesterday's price is not today's price. It goes both ways, up, down. So we'll see where it lands. I think at this point, if I'm Carlos Correa and it's down to Detroit and to Houston and the money's comparable, I think I just run it back.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. Now, here's the big question. Does he want to take a really short-term deal at a high AAV? He's young enough to do that for a year or two and then bounce back in the market. We've seen pitchers do this. We really haven't seen a lot of big-name players do it, position players, because they've been given 6-7 year deals.
I don't think so. I think he's hitting free agency at the perfect time. So you capitalize. What did I just say? You capitalize. I can't say that freaking word on that big year, and you try to go get $300 million as much as you can get.
He led Major League Baseball in WAR, right?
Yeah.
He's young. He is postseason proven. All that sort of stuff.
Exactly. That's why you go get the money right now.
But why? But it might not be out there. That's my point.
I think right now, when is it going to, if it's not out there this year, when's it going to be out there? Why do you think in 2 years is going to be out there when you're 2 years older and the teams can point to that and say, you're 2 years older, bro. And maybe you took a little dip. This guy is at the peak of his career right now, hitting free agency with a brand new CBA. This is the time to go get your money.
Except that Seager already ate up more than 300 million of it, right? The Yankees already traded for a shortstop.
Okay.
Now, that could change next year. That could change. They could move guys around the infield, and there could be a spot open there, depending on what they end up doing with Aaron Judge's contract situation, right? The question is, how many other teams are going to be willing to pay Carlos Correa more than $300 million right now? I don't see people lining up to do that right now.
There's got to be a threshold for him. And he says, if I eclipse this threshold, I will sign a contract. And I don't know what that is. Is it $250 million? Is it 275? I'm not really sure, but there's a point where he's saying to himself, I've made it. This is perfect timing for me. Let's go see how much I can get. And if it's not there, if it's not like you're saying, it's not there, then he might have to do that. That's not his choice. 100%. That would not be his choice, but he might have to.
1,000%. It's not his choice, but it might be the best choice because you don't think.
And then what's that deal look like to you?
You don't think there's part of him that says, all right, Corey Seager's an excellent player. He's not better than I am. I guarantee you he's saying that.
I wonder why the Rangers did that. Is it lefty hitter? Is that why? Injury history with Carlos Correa. Listen to this. This is a true story. I follow this dude. He's an Angels kind of fan on Twitter. And we got into it one day about the Angels pitching. And so we had some friendly banter, followed each other. He was at Angels camp. He said he point blank asked Artie Moreno, are you signing Correa? And Artie Moreno said, no, he gets hurt too much. Do you think that's what teams are saying?
Did anybody check the games played log of Corey Seager?
Yeah, maybe you're right.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And then he should have followed it up with, would you sign Corey Seager? And if he gives you the same answer, well, no, he gets hurt too much. Then
Artie Moreno doesn't want to sign anybody. Except massive bats. I guess that fits perfectly. He should sign him.
All right. We got to speed through these last few questions.
Okay, sorry.
Padres reportedly interested in both free agent World Series MVP Jorge Soler and Yankees first baseman Luke Voit by a trade. Which one makes more sense for that team?
They both make sense, I guess, but they need outfield help, don't they? Can Luke Voit play the outfield? No. And they have Hosmer, and that's a lot of money, so they have to get rid of him. So I think Soler makes more sense for them. But I would like to see Voit on that team. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, once again, the universal DH opens up the discussion to both, if you want to go that direction. They're not, I don't think they're happy at left, right, or first right now. And they're definitely not happy with their shortstop being on the shelf for 3 months. But that's neither here nor there. So, yeah, I think in order, I think Soler makes the most sense because you don't have to give up anything except money. Then Voit makes sense because the Yankees are going to want something in return, although I don't think they're in much of a position to demand anything because the Padres would say, well, hold on. You have a first baseman. If you got to eat it, eat it. We're not giving you a starting pitcher for Luke Voit. That doesn't make sense. So I would say Soler first, then Voit.
I told Jimmy and Jake this. Voit came off it was the COVID season.
Yep.
Hit a bunch of homers. And I was they need to trade this guy right now. His value will never be higher. They were so pissed at me. They were so mad at me. But there's some times where you, as a player and as an organization, you have to capitalize on big years like that.
Hey,
and they didn't do it.
The Yankee fans, and it's really not Yankee fans. It's fans. We see something that we don't expect, and it comes to fruition, right? And this has happened for decades. Kevin Moss, back in the day, you're probably too young to remember him, but he was.
I remember that.
Shane Spencer.
Yeah.
These guys, they come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you're like, that's the Yankee of the future. If they had just pulled the trigger when they should have on certain deals, they could have gotten something in return. It's the toughest thing to figure out. When is an ascending player? When does he hit his peak? And you're like, yeah, this is where he's maxing out. And I would agree with you on the Luke Voit. They missed an opportunity.
Who was the guy that changed his shoe size with the Rangers and hit like 10 home runs in 8 days? Do you remember that?
Oh, was that no, he was with the Tigers. That was Shelton. Are you talking about Kevin Mensch?
It could be. Sound off in the comments. I'm not sure if it's Mensch or not.
Kevin
I don't think
Mensch
it is.
had Bruce Bochy sized head, by the way. Like it was always a tough.
Dude, I love people with big heads. I don't know why.
I always asked the question when it came to Bruce Bochy or Kevin Mensch: would you rather have $1 million or Bochy's head full of quarters?
Oh my God.
So it's tough. It's not as easy a call as you think.
You're right. You got to do the math a little bit.
All right, let's move on to this. Vlad Guerrero Jr. said yesterday, last year was simply the trailer. Now you're going to see the movie, which means that, yeah, I was, okay. Robbie says it was Kevin Mensch. There you go.
Good call.
Good job,
Chris.
Robbie Scirocco, producer extraordinaire. Anyway, Vlad making the point that, hey, listen, I was good. We were good. We about to be great. Give me the one player who's been solid so far in his career, but could explode to Vlad-like levels that he did a year ago.
It's probably the easiest question you've ever given me. His name is Byron. Ever heard of him? Byron Buxton, Minnesota Twins center fielder.
Wow.
You saw the trailer last year, and that trailer went viral. Okay. 171. Do you know what that is?
OPS plus?
OPS plus. Playing platy glove center field. This guy's a superstar. He needs to stay on the field. He's 27 years old, 28 now, maybe. Let me see. Let me get your age up there, Brian. He just turned 28. He's in the prime of his career. He works hard and he got the bag. So he's very secure, confident. This guy's going to go out there and show the world why he was the second overall pick in the 2012 draft. I love Byron. Everything about this guy is special. When you watch him play, you audibly gasp. Byron is going to show the world. I think a lot of people in the baseball world know about him. This is one of those guys that should be talked about. Like, he is Fernando Tatis hype level when he's on the field. Okay. So I can't wait to see Byron do his thing this year. That's the easiest call for me.
I am excited for that. For me, I had it narrowed down to two guys. My runner-up was Austin Riley, who put together a great year last year. But I think now that Freddie's out, that it's he and Acuna as the faces moving forward.
Matt Olson.
But the guy I'm going to pick is Kyle Tucker of the Houston Astros. He is as productive a player that we don't talk about in the major leagues.
Dude,
his OPS last year was 917. And you're thinking, well, what are his splits like? I think he's 920 against right-handers and 910 against lefties or something like that. It is incredible consistency, which means you don't ever have to take him out of the lineup. He's a good athlete. He stole 14 bags. He mashed 30 homers, and you don't mention him one bit.
It's that lineup, bro. I know. It's Jordan came up and he kind of, I guess, overshadows Tucker. I mean, I guess I think people in Houston love this guy.
Yeah, but nobody on a national perspective ever talks about him. Ever.
You're totally right. And this is why Houston is able to run it back year after year after year, because they get guys like this coming up. When you have, to get a guy like this once in 5 years is incredible. But to get two guys like this, three guys like this, all these guys have come up with them. They didn't trade for any of these guys. Bregman, Altuve, Tucker, Jordan. Or did they trade for Jordan?
Yeah, they did, from the Dodgers.
But like young.
Yes, go ahead, Robbie.
You got a breaking report from John Heyman. Luke Voit traded to the Padres.
Wow.
Does not say
what are they going to do?
What they got in return, but yeah.
So you were talking about farm systems. I mean, they probably didn't give up much for him.
They couldn't.
If I had to guess. So you keep your top guys in place. You get a little bit of more offense when Tatis is out. Maybe that you try to balance that out for the first 3 months. Just run it out there, see what happens. Interesting, though. I don't know where he's going to play other than DH.
Right. I mean, because Hosmer, whether you like
better
him or you
defensively.
don't, and people, exactly. That's a good glove over there. He's really consistent.
Yeah, so he'll have to play first base, and Voigt's going to DH. I don't. Has he ever played the outfield? I can look that up, but I don't want to.
Dude, does he look like an outfielder? He looks like a softball outfielder.
He looks like an outfielder from like the early 2000s.
Right.
When they used to just put donkeys out there. Gosh, I missed that, dude. The Royals ruined everything in 2015. They had the horses out in the outfield and the horses out of the pen, and they ruined baseball for guys like me.
Well, this will be interesting to see what goes back in return for the Yankees. But I think it's a good, it's solid. It's a solid move. I don't think there's any way, unless they eat a substantial amount of Hosmer's contract, that they can move him.
Yeah, we'll see. I want to say this about Voit. I think we kind of trashed him a little bit today. At least I did, saying that the Yankees should have traded him. I think he's still a very good player and a very good bat. Like, he was hurt last year, still put up an above average OPS plus. This guy could go off down in San Diego, and this could look like an absolute steal down there for Mr. Preller. So
by the way,
I like the move. He really had no room for him in New York. So it gives him an opportunity to continue to mash, make some money. And the Padres need this offense, like instant offense. I like it.
So here's the thing about Hosmer. And by the way, you were not trashing him at all. That was not trash. You did not trash him. Okay. Saying that a team should trade a guy, that doesn't mean that you don't believe that he can be good. Just, I don't think that's fair. You're beating yourself up. So Hosmer, this is the interesting part of his deal that I forgot about. He'll make $21 million this year, but then after that, it's only 3 years and $39 million. So it's 13 per year after this season. So if somehow the Padres can eat a substantial amount of this year, then it's not, $13 million. You might be able to deal with that per year.
Man, and Haas is such a good dude and a hard worker. Like, I feel like someone can fix what ails him. Like, he needs to put the ball in the air more. Bottom line. And I feel like there's so many people that teach that now. Like, I don't know where the missing link is in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting.
I love Haas.
All right. Well, we got a little lengthy today because of the breaking news, so we won't even do the last story today.
Are we lengthy?
Yeah. I want to keep it to bite size. You want to have a nice meal here. You don't want too much baseball today.
How about this? Wander Franco, don't park in the team president's spot.
It is funny. Okay. Kevin Cash had his car pulled out and put on the field. It was very funny.
Robbie's doing it. Just don't park in the president's spot. This
in
won't
fact,
happen.
Neander was doing an interview at the time, I believe, and Cash walked in and was like, dude, you got to come out to the field for 5 minutes, because Wander Franco parked in Neander's spot, and Cash was like, that ain't going to happen. So all the Braves are looking at it like, and there's Wander. Wander's reaction's great, dude.
This is healthy hazing. You don't want to go too far with the hazing, but you got to do a little bit of healthy hazing.
Yeah.
Especially when he got the money. He needs a little pushback.
Hey, you want hazing, go back to the 92 Toronto Blue Jays when Derek Bell was a rookie, and they did a fake fan appreciation day where Joe Carter and Dave Winfield took Bell's tricked out car and brought it on the field and said, we're giving this away to one lucky fan today. And Derek Bell, his facial expressions where he's reacting to it, he's like, he realizes, oh my God, that's my car. And then he's really like, no, they're going to give away my car. Like, holy shit, I cannot believe this is happening.
What kind of car is that?
Huh?
What kind of car is that? I think me and you would look sick in that.
I don't know, but you don't see many like lime green cars out.
Can you imagine me and you cruising Ventura Boulevard in that thing? All the honeys we'd get.
Look at Bell's reaction. Please, if this is just audio only, join us on the YouTube channel today. And just, even if you want to fast forward, Robbie always leaves down there basically a little synopsis, a timestamp of everything. So he'll put this in there. It's good. All right, Plouffe, quickly, what do you have, John Boy Media?
Not until Monday, man.
Okay.
I'll see you guys Monday.
Latest episode of the Rose Rotation with Moylan and Blevins is out. A lot of good traction on that one. A lot of great bullpen stories. This weekend, chatting it up with Lucas Giolito, the Chicago White Sox. And I think his brother, Casey, who's an actor whom we met out at spring training, is going to join us as well. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
That'll be coming out on Monday. All right. Speaking of Monday, I will see you then. Everybody have a good, healthy weekend. Be safe out there. Special shout out to the one and only Robbie Scirocco. He's the best in the biz. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks for tuning in to Baseball Today.